on to ESPN or one of these sports channels going like, I don't understand, how come female athletes don't make as much as male professional athletes? Right? And all of these men had to sit there and act like they didn't know what the answer was. They had to sit there like dumbfounded, like, I don't know. Why is that?
So we used to always have these dumbass arguments. Like one time she came up to me, she goes, okay, explain this to me, Bill. Why does a guy make more an hour to do the exact same job, huh? I go, I'll tell you why. Because in the unlikely event that we're both on a Titanic and it starts to sink, for some fucked up reason, you get to leave with the kids and I have to stay. Yeah, that's why I get the $1 more an hour. Well, think about it. If there's a house face, like, you chauvinistic son of a bitch, little short, little haircut, the whole 9 yards, right? Second those flames break out, she's gonna twist those little hairs into pigtails. No, I'm just a girl. I want to go play jump rope. And leave you standing in a burning house like you're not flammable. You know, but I'm not a dick though. I'm not saying I think a woman should make $1 less an hour to do the same job. All I'm saying is if you're gonna make like overly religious, it kind of freaks me out, you know? You know what I mean? Like I don't mind when like black people get really into Jesus though, you know? Because like somehow like the shit stays spiritual. You know, you get a couple of good songs out of it. You know what I mean? People look like they're having a good time. Somehow when like white dudes get too into Jesus, all of a sudden like shit catches on fire. People start dying, somebody says they're Jesus, and they try to fuck every chick in the compound. My girl's actually, she's really like religious. She goes to church every week, and I never go, and it freaks her out. She's like, why don't you go to church? You don't believe in God, and heaven and hell, and all that stuff? Why don't you go? And it's not because I don't believe in a higher power. I definitely do. My thing is when I go to church, I can't get past the fact that I'm just listening to some fucking guy. You ever think of that shit when you go in there? No, they got too much energy for me. You notice that's it? They always have to be doing something. You know, like they can't like take a day off, you know? You can't have a day off when you have a girlfriend. They just like see that open day. They're like, oh my God, let's fucking fill it up with shit. They just come at you with like one horrible idea after another. They have the worst ideas. They do. You ever get to this one, they'll be like, you want to go to brunch? See what I'm saying? Where are all those feminists then? You can't find them. They had no feminists in a house fire. You can take the most hardcore feminists, you know, some chick right in your face, you chauvinistic son of a bitch, you know, little short, little haircut, you know. Second those flames break out, she'll twist those little hairs into pigtails. Oh, I'm just a girl. I want to go play jump rope. I'm becoming a psycho. I've realized that about myself. I am. I watch conspiracy theory and like slap fights till like 2 in the morning on YouTube, you know? And I start like piecing shit together. I'm becoming that guy. I'm like that guy, you know, you sit there, you're sitting there drinking in a bar and all, you know, some guy's cool, you're talking about the game, then all of a sudden he's just like, you know, there's no gold behind our currency. You realize that? You're like, oh yeah, that's great. Pick up your drink, just fucking walk away. Oh, that's what I'm becoming. Totally into conspiracy. That's why I think Barack Obama, and I think that they need a black guy to blame it on. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. Dude, it'll totally feed into the rednecks. They'll be like, you see what happened? Dude, he's only half black. Well, that's the half that did it. That's what happened. I bet the white half was saying. That's what, you know, see, I'm just fucking losing people. I am. I just look at TV and nothing makes sense to me. I'm sick of them. Nothing makes sense to me. I'm sick of them telling me shit is shocking that is completely obvious. Crocodile hunter dies. Oh, can you fucking? Yes, I can totally believe it. It's why I watch the show. I watched it every week because I knew eventually he was going to fucking die, and I wanted to see it. Right? Oh, I like that dog, the bounty hunter video, or the phone message he left. You know, people are like, can you believe he left that that Dog the Bounty Hunter video, or the phone message he left, you know? People are like, can you believe he left that racist message? It's like, dude, look at him. Look at him. Some redneck with a mullet down to his ass. He drives a pickup. He's got the gloves with the fingers cut off. Yeah, who would have thought he had a couple of fucked up ideas rolling around in his head, you know? Dude, you know what would have been shocking? If he could play the cello. That would have been shocking, right? Yeah, then you'd be sitting there like... This is how much time I spend alone on the road, man. I actually spent so much time alone on the road, I actually like contemplated milk to the point I can't even fucking drink it anymore. Sitting there drinking, like, man, this stuff is great, tastes awesome, you know? Then I started thinking it comes out of the carton, and I just did the police work, it comes out of a cow, and I'm like, I am fucking suckling from another species. We have such a crazy relationship with cows. You ever think about that? No, you... Dude, fuck that. I want a brand new 2008 Bulldog, all right? I don't want some like 1995 half a Labrador. It's got part of its ear chewed off, you know? Every time I go to use the toaster, it starts freaking out. You know, because his last owner hung him from the ceiling fan every time the Jets didn't cover the over, you know? Dude, that is an animal. That thing could kill you. If a squirrel wanted to fuck me up, if it just started running at old lady in the face. It was like compelling. It was unbelievable. You know, when you go to get off a plane, there's like rules when you go to get off the plane, all right? It goes row by row by row. And this lady was all like, ooh, I'm 90. I get to cut everybody, right? So I'm competitive. I start fucking boxing her out, right? Start bringing down like the overhead luggage, you know? So she just starts like waddling around me. And all of a sudden I just feel my elbow like, dude, you're going to take this shit? This is ridiculous, man. The whole half of...
You're sucked in the bubble. You don't have time to pay attention to what's going on in the world. You're just stuck with these kids. It's shitting all over the place. Don't be a serial killer. Don't touch that. You're just stuck in that. You have 3-4 kids. That is a 25-year sentence. Trying to get them all through college. Society just keeps fucking going. You get the last one through college. You step back out of the bubble. You don't know what happened. You're not even paying attention. You go back to your old record collection, sports bra, and now you're the #1 tennis player in the world, just coming out there with your man shoulders. That doesn't seem fair. I might be wrong. I might just be an old guy. I have no idea. But I'm hearing rumors like some of them are getting into that MMA. You can't have that shit. Am I nuts? That is a dickless dude beating the shit out of a woman. Jesus Christ. He might as well hit her with his discarded dick like a flash thing in there. I never read the book, all right? I tried to. They need to fucking update it, all right? They update iTunes every fucking 6 days. Can we update the language and make it a little more user-friendly for someone like me, right? No, that's where he gets all those fucking ideas. That Duck Dynasty guy, it's not his fault that he went to, he went to Sunday school in like 1949, you know? I think all of that shit comes from the church. Dude makes $1 zillion, gets his own TV show, he's loving life, and out of nowhere, here comes that same question 60 years later from Sunday school, and he stands up like the Manchurian Candidate. Jesus likes hookers and lepers, doesn't like the queers. And everybody freaks the fuck out. And he's like, oh, that's what they said. And they're all dead. Oh, where'd everybody go? I thought
Actually, Nerd Jesus died in the last year, right? Steve Jobs. Yeah, he died, right? I know. A lot of nerds here tonight. I know, you're sad. I didn't get it. I didn't get the big deal they made about that guy. When he died, they were like, he changed the world. That was insane. He changed the world. The world was one way, and then Steve Jobs came. The world. That was insane. He changed the world. The world was one way, and then Steve Jobs came, and it was another. What did he do? Somebody, for the love of God, what the fuck did that guy do? What did he do? He told other people what to invent? I want my entire music collection in that phone. Get on it! my entire music collection in that phone. Get on it! Right? And then these poor, nameless, faceless scientists got to go in a back room and figure it out. How the fuck are we going to get all of this into this? I mean, what year does this guy think this is? This is crazy. This is like Buck Rogers. Dude, my kid has a birthday in like 11 months. Steve Jobs just walking by. I don't hear any thinking going on in there. Like he's Tesla. Tapping into the atmosphere. I know, this is always uncomfortable. I know, you bought into it, right? That whole advertising, the way they aligned themselves with some of the greatest people of all time. Jesus, Gandhi, me. Remember that? Muhammad Ali, John Lennon, this guy. How the fuck was that dude like any of them? Gandhi didn't have a sweatshop. This is about new phone can't fit the old charger, so then you got to throw it out, ends up in the ocean around some octopus's neck. Do you realize how much sea life is ecstatic that that man is no longer walking the earth? That's where it all ends up, you know. Doesn't go in a landfill, ends up in the ocean. You realize that? I hate people who say I don't pollute. I don't pollute. Yeah, you do. You use shit and you throw it out. Well, you think because you put it in like a basket in the ocean. You realize that? I hate people who say I don't pollute. I don't pollute. Yeah, you do. You use shit and you throw it out. Well, you think because you put it in like a basket, it just poof, disappears? Everything you ever used is somewhere. You ever think about that? Remember that flannel shirt you bought back in the day when you got into Pearl Jam? That's out there somewhere. Probably on some porpoise's face. He's trying to get it off. Stupid little flippers. All the back in the day when you got into Pearl Jam. That's out there somewhere. Probably on some porpoise's face. He's trying to get it off. Stupid little flippers. All the fads. You remember rollerblading? Remember that? Everybody had them. We set up cones. We did little tricks, right? One little homophobic joke killed that entire fad. What's the hardest thing about rollerblading? Homophobic joke killed that entire fad. What's the hardest thing about rollerblading? Telling your parents you're gay. Full-grown adults. Dude, I'm not gay. I don't have the cooties. These mean I suck dick. And they just threw them out. They end up in the ocean. They're made out of plastic. They can't biodegrade. They just break down to little cubes. Fish are breathing them in. 6 months later, you're going out, you're getting sushi, you think you're being healthy.
Look, are we at least going to be able to split a cab? Because I wanted to go over and have a drink with you.
Right.
And I was like, at least be able to split a cab. And then you're like, why? Why do you want to split a cab? Just putting up the roadblock? And that's when I went all in. I said, because I want to kiss you. Bam. Right.
Yeah.
And then that was it. I didn't fucking talk to you after that. Yeah, you sat there with that little stunned look on your face. Then what happened? Then we walked outside.
Really,
then
proud of yourself
then we
like
walked
that.
out. That was the shit. That was one of the greatest. The fucking guys like that used to always get me. I was fucking seducing you, and it worked. Right? Then we hit the fucking red light.
Yeah.
I put one on you.
You did.
Bam. Right? Couldn't feel your fucking feet. I'm going to make this story last 9 hours long. And then you know what happened?
Really, Jesus.
Then I sat back and I was playing Mr. Fucking Cool again like I'm fucking Walt Frazier in 1972. Oh, the callback to the Knicks from an hour ago, right? Then what happened? We stopped again, and I hate going to the gym, so I decided I'd go veggie twice a week. Brutal. I can only make it till about 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock, that's what I realized about myself. Something has to die every day in order for me to live. Something's got to get its beak chopped off, feathers yanked, uppercut to its jaw, just in order for me to survive. I'm trying. I saw this thing, though, that they said if everybody went vegan. If everybody went vegan, though, it would be vegetarian, whatever the hell they said. One of those V ones, right? Went vegan. The air would be, if everybody drove an electric car, if everybody just had some snowshoes on. Nobody has the balls to come out and say it and just say, look, 85% of you have to go.
You know what? You're full of shit. You are. All those feminists are full of shit. Because I'm going to tell you right now, someday there's going to be the first woman president. Which means
Which means you don't even know what a fucking. All those feminists are full of shit. Because I'm going to tell you right now, someday there's going to be the first woman president. Which means you don't even know what a fucking platform is, and you automatically cheer. It's got the same genitalia. I'm telling you, they're not smart people. Feminists, they're not as smart as they're coming off. I'm telling you. Someday, there's going to be the first female president, which means there's going to be the first male. You fucking wait. The first time that dude opens his mouth about some political shit, you watch all these feminists. They're all going to be, you shut the fuck up. You shut the fuck up. It is her time now. It is her time. She was elected, not you. Go pick out some plates, bitch. You are the first lady.
I don't mind that people use roids. I think they should use roids because they're using themselves as guinea pigs, and it'll all trickle down to us one day. And after they messed up, their heads were 80, they're going to have like a steroid vaporizer that you can just inhale, and you're going to have abs. I'll get a full head of hair, and you're going to be banging some hot 65-year-old. And it's all going to be because of these athletes and the sacrifices that they make that no one appreciates. Those guys in the 70s, the stuff they took in the 70s.
Oh, in the 70s, the steroids were crazy.
It was like horse tranquilizers. You came out with like a mane, just slapping children around.
They didn't have a mane. No one had a mane.
Some people would argue that.
So it's good for the sport.
I love it.
Like I dated this girl one time. She was like really into the event that we're both on a Titanic and it starts to sink. For some fucked up reason, you get to leave with the kids and I have to stay. If there's a house fire, it's always women and children first. I got to stand there with like the back of my shirt on fire going, let's go, people, let's go, let's go. So that's how I look at it. That if something fucked up happens, either I can't leave or I gotta like get in the way of it to give you a head start, like rabid dog, run honey, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. You hear a bump in the night, I gotta go check it out, like give you a head start, like rabid dog, run honey, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. You hear a bump in the night, I gotta go check it out, like yes, he does have a knife. Anytime there's a hostage situation, who do they negotiate for first? Well, at least let the women and children go. Well, what about me? Bullets hurt me too. Why the fuck do I gotta stay in the vault?
Surprised feminists haven't had a problem with the French language yet.
It's like, what's this gender? There's no such thing
why
as
is
gender.
la maison? Why is the house feminine? Is he saying that women is
Game. It's just like, what are you doing? Trying to watch a game here. No, there's a time and a place. Look, I know somebody that has died of cancer. I would never go to the movies with you and in the middle of it hit pause and be like, oh, by the way, Conan, I know this guy. He died of cancer. It was horrific. I could have lifted him up off the sheet with 2 fingers. It was horrible. Hey, enjoy. Oh, by the way, I got molested when I was 9. Enjoy the rest of it.
Have a little empathy. Who do they move in with? Women. Who do they get in relationships with? Women. Who do they eventually marry? Women. And I was thinking like, oh my God, I did that. I know what it's like to live with one of those fucking things. I know exactly what that is. It's hopeless. Trying to make them happy. Hey, I bought you the shiny thing. Did I do it right? Huh? Trying to get them to take responsibility for their actions. Not gonna happen. The best you're gonna get is I'm sorry, but I know what it's like to be winning a fucking argument. You're winning fucking argument. You're winning. And then they turn it around. They're crying. You're apologizing. You're thinking, what the fuck just happened? How am I losing this shit? I had you on the ropes. You feel so dumb. You gotta go for a walk. And you're just thinking, how did I lose again? And then you figure it out. It makes you feel stupid. And then you see some bald idiot with a giant orange mustache. And you're like, you know what? Why don't you take some of that shit?
It's not down, it's in here. They try to take it. It's in here. You do something good, you feel good. You do something bad, you feel bad,
The woke movement was supposed to be about people of color, not getting opportunities, the at-bats that they deserved, finally making that happen. And it was about that for about 8 seconds. And then somehow, white women swung their Gucci-booted feet over the fence of oppression and stuck themselves at the front of the line. I don't know how they did it. I've never heard so much complaining in my life from white women. My life is so hard.
I understand that, and I'm grateful that you're here.
Nothing but a red line the whole way over here. Your girlfriend or wife's, their friends give you pressure. Like, what are you going to get her?
Yeah.
What are you going to get her? It's like, I don't know. What is she going to get me?
Yeah.
She's going to get me a flat screen? No, it's ridiculous. The pandering you have to do. No, it's like, am I in some third world country? I got to buy off the corrupt dictator here? Like,
Say about the military that got people so mad, or this one guy so
I was
mad.
just saying, like, yeah, the guy. You know what I mean?
You have 9 different positions since you've started this sentence.
Yeah, because I've been training with Trevor Whitman.
Oh, yeah.
With my footwork.
Yeah. Oh, Trevor Whitman. Oh, my God.
Do you know him?
No.
The deepest couch in sports entertainment. A lot of people think that they're uncomfortable with my elevation. Are you uncomfortable with it? No, I just see all of your insecurities.
Your giant desk.
While people are talking about eating fake
elevation, are you uncomfortable with it? No, I just see all of your insecurities.
Your giant desk.
While people are talking about eating fake.
That was before.
I don't want to be responsible for that shit. I didn't. But if the kid was in the fucking building.
Before. Will you shut up? Jesus fucking Christ.
At some point, I was going to make a point here. That's why I keep looking at here, and I just realized I'm blocking myself out of the camera. I love that you have the jib camera for this, like it's an action movie. Let's sitting in these unbelievably small chairs. I literally feel like I'm going to fall onto the floor. This is insane. You really went all out with the audience, though. They got full-size adult chairs. Are these like from the 20s before they had like horse tranquilizers in our food? When everybody was like 5'1"? Yeah, I thought you were laughing. You were fucking yawning over here.
No, the mushrooms are fucking killing me, man.
I knew it wasn't just weed. And you were fucking yawning over here.
No, the mushrooms are fucking killing me, man.
I knew it wasn't just weed. I was just like, there's no way I'm taking a hit off of that. There's something going on here.
Mushrooms, baby. The shrooms. I'm shrooming.
You know how fucked up this is? He's shrooming, and he's wearing pants like he went riding a horse today. Like side saddle or some shit.
Really? Is that you in action, or is this another Photoshop?
Yes. Comfortable in this fucking chair. This is just like one of the worst things. This should be like in a museum, is like the prototype. This was the awful level of comfort. We went from a log to this, and then eventually they got cushions. It's another guy looking at his phone. I swear to God. Dude, the day Jesus comes back, if he ever does, if he's even a real person, like 90% of people are going to miss it. They're going to walk right. He's going to be walking on water, and they're immediately walking by him and not even going to see it.
A lot coming from the Hillary Clinton camp that Trump is bad for children. And they had a lot of ads that said, you know, children are watching this guy.
Oh, we all know
talk.
that children 5 and 6 years old are always tuning into the debates.
Taking notes. That's what I did when I was a kid. I'll never forget that.
Oh, there we go. No, but now this is like the ego one. Now I'm going to be sitting above you.
Yeah,
you got to come with 2. It's fine. It's fine. Sir, the one comedy through line that's working. Now I'm going to be sitting above you. You got to come with 2. It's fine. It's fine. Sir, the one comedy through line that's working here is me shitting on this chair. Why would you take that from me? You're just totally going against the grain. I understand it. But you got on camera, so I think you get paid, even though this is online.
And then also, you can't tell other people's kids not to do stuff.
Right.
So you got to kind of like be loudly like, hey, he's climbing up on the utility pole, and kind of.
You are the whitest person I've ever seen around.
Yes, served me well. I've never worked for anything. Yeah, I was born on a yacht. It's just all been downhill.
I don't even mean it in. I don't mean it in a genetic way. I mean like.
I do. I'm talking full-on white privilege. I was stunned when I first heard about white privilege. I had no idea what it was. It's like, hey, everybody doesn't get to do this.
It seems as if
There's people that work on like oil. What was that movie that guy made? The oil, the fucking, you know, they drill oil. What is it?
There Will Be Blood?
There Will Be Blood. The out in the ocean, they would drill. I can never remember the names.
Deepwater.
Mark Wahlberg was
Deepwater Horizon. Yeah.
Those guys were working on an oil rig. The fucking thing blows up. They're on fire. They got to jump into water that's on fire. Salty water into their wounds. You got to swim out of that oil and fire, and then trip.
So did you feel you were being disrespectful, or just you were just having fun with some of the crucifixes and stuff like that?
I don't even know I mean, we did maybe 2 jokes about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you think the Catholic Church went a little too far? More so than my cartoon.
All right, listen.
A couple of jokes. I know this is a morning show. You can't bring up all those crimes.
You know what? Technically,
well, they just sort of kept moving them around. You know, like those killer whales at SeaWorld. After it kills a trainer, they'll then move it up to Seattle.
Like you lost a fight 3 days ago, you're just getting back on your feet. Makes no sense. I understand liposuction. They mess that up, you can put a shirt on. There's no shirt for your face. Dude, if you're thinking about getting a facelift, do yourself a favor. Just wait it out. Let them practice on other people's faces. When they work it out, then you go in. It's like hair plugs. Hair plugs don't look half bad now.
I think if you watch those, you're an idiot. I don't understand why you would sit there wasting your time. They all say the same thing. They're all like, you know, over the last 4 years, everything good that happened was because of us. And we would have done more good stuff if it wasn't for those guys. And then the Democrats go, oh, we did all the good stuff. It's like you're all working for the same guy. They bet on both horses. And then it just kind of goes. That guy that says, like, there's a meteor headed right towards the planet. That's the guy you vote for. Go with the psycho, because there's no way there's any corporate money behind that guy, right? Like, that guy is going to come on TV. He's going to come on TV, like, reading files from the Pentagon. Like, you know what else they're doing? Like, just freaking people out.
Wow.
Yes, I did.
Did you pay attention to the election? We got a new mayor here. Bloomberg is up.
I didn't even know there was an election. I honestly don't. I don't pay attention at all.
I want my entire music collection in that phone. Get on it! Right? And then these poor, nameless, faceless scientists got to go in a back room and figure it out. How the fuck are we going to get all of this into this? I mean, what year does this guy think this is? This is crazy. This is like Buck Rogers. Dude, my kid has a birthday in like 11 months. Steve Jobs just walking by. I don't hear any thinking going on in there. Jobs just walking by. I don't hear any thinking going on in there. Just strutting around the office, eating some pretentious fruit like a pear. Right? Just throwing out ideas. There's another one. There's another one I just came up with on the way to work. I was reading a magazine the other day, turning pages, you know? I like to turn pages on a screen that aren't even there. Yeah, wrap your fucking heads around that, guys!
I do. And out the pilot light, though. All right? I'm keeping some fight in me. I'm not going to be that henpeck guy. Just standing there like, I guess we're making holiday cookies. That dude with the bowed shoulders. She makes them, and then I'm supposed to sprinkle the sugar on them. I don't even think they taste that good, but you know. Out of your mind? I go, I'm not sleeping downstairs. She's like, who are you going to sleep then? I'm like, where I always sleep. I will fucking sleep on your side of the bed if I want to. What are you going to do? I'm bigger than you. I'll hang on to the covers. Try to get me out. No tickling. Good. Yeah. I was like, you don't tell me where to sleep. I sleep where I want to sleep. She's like, well, you don't tell me where to sleep. I'm like, I'm not the one telling people where to sleep. It was one of those classic relationship fights. It's like 2 a.m, you're both half naked. Like, what are you afraid of? What is she going to do if you say no? What is she going to fucking choke slam you onto the kitchen table? Look, I understand if you're dating some woman and she does that UFC, MMA shit, then you got to sleep what she says to sleep. You got to. She's going to come at you. Well, let's get you in an armbar. All right. Tapping out. Or even worse, she chokes you out. You wake up on the couch like 11 minutes later, like... Just grab your jacket off the back of the couch. Can't handle that. You know, walk by your TV without looking at you. Only make herself something yummy out in the kitchen. Who gives a fuck? Dude, my wife does that. I just sit there. I just start commentating. Oh, here she comes again, walking by the TV. She really must be mad. She's never body slammed me once, ever. I'm not saying to be a dick, all right? I'm just saying you got to keep them honest. You know, we fight a lot over television, you know, so I don't know. I've kind of come her way. She's come my way. She watches a little bit of sports. You know, I occasionally will watch like a romantic comedy, which, you know, I don't care. You know, the nerd's going to fuck the cheerleader. I'll watch it, right? I don't mind them. It's an uplifting story. I just don't like the love scenes in romantic comedies. They creep me out. They're just so fucking nice. It's like missionary style. There's candles. That stupid saxophone music. They creep me out. They're just so fucking nice. It's like missionary style. There's candles. That stupid saxophone music. It always goes down. Like the saxophone implies the penetration, right? Because they can't show it. They gotta make her this one-dimensional, this little angel. They ignore the other 90% of her sexuality. No hair pulling, no ass slapping, none of that shit. None of that taboo stuff of a woman's sexuality. She just kept taking my hand and she kept putting it like right here. And then I didn't know what she was doing. I thought she was like testing my core strength or some shit. I was just like... And finally, I'm just like, what are you doing? She's just like, I don't know, just kind of like, like squeeze a little bit. And kind of like, squeeze it. Why don't you want to do it? It'll be fun. Why don't I want to do it? I don't think I want a passed out naked woman with my fingerprints all around her neck. Having the cop show up. Yeah, she's in here, officer. Damn this thing, it was hers.
Yeah, there's nothing stopping you other than the fact that you guys are just into destroying each other. No, now it's going to get quiet. I see all that sleepy shit you do. Ladies, if you could just support the WNBA the way you support a fat shit that's proud of her body and is no longer a threat to you, that league would be doing better numbers than the NBA. Right? I'm just being honest. Come on, we're outside. We're in the woods. We can be honest. Just regular, who gives a fuck? Can't remember her name, looking women, right? Well, looking at these goddesses, and they had to fucking be there. How am I supposed to compete with that? You can't! How fucking arrogant are you? I don't see bread over your cabbage. Yeah. When I was a kid, you could only be crazy outside for about 15 minutes before a van would pull up and two guys in nurses' outfits would just come walking out. Hey, buddy, how's it going? Making a lot of racket out here, aren't you? Why don't you do me a favor? Try this shirt on. You're like, okay. How come the sleeves are so long? Oh, because we're going to tie your arms behind your back because you're out of your fucking mind. That's it. One on, somebody fucking limping across the street or something. And I've never been able to get close enough to talk really to anybody. Like they do on the news. Like, Jesus, you've been sitting in here, for a couple of months. What is it like to be inside of this tent? I always wondered how many people they had to choke out before they could get that fucking interview. Just coming in, blow darts, numbing up everybody else, building a perimeter. She pops her head up. Hey, Bam Bam, tell Stevie Wonder to come down and play some songs tonight. Now, I found out she's doing a tour because she's doing a book tour. Yeah, she wrote a book. She wrote a book about not having a job. I gotta read that fucking book. Chapter 1, how to know if a dick tastes president. Someday there's going to be the first female president, which means there's going to be the first male first lady. All right? And you wait. You fucking wait. The first time that dude opens his mouth about some political shit, you watch all these feminists. They're all going to be, you shut the fuck up. You shut the fuck up. It is her time now. It is her time. She was elected, not you. Go pick out some plates, bitch. You are the first lady. See how you do. You fly them out. You land. You bring another 28 back. We'll let you do this for a while. You do this for a while. We don't get any complaints. No up and down, no, none of that shit. We'll move you up to 35 people, and then one day you'll be in a jet. Woo, we're going a little faster, right? Big planes, you get in the fucking pilot that knows what he's doing. He's probably fought in a war. He's used to getting shot at. He can't. So I'm on a smaller plane, and everything's going great. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, we hit this turbulence. Just right? And it stops, and everybody looks around like laughing nervously, like, oh.
Eesh. All of a sudden, it comes back with a vengeance. You can literally hear like the metal the plane's made out of, like. All of a sudden, this dude, like 3 rows back, starts making like these bitchy noises, like, oh, I'm not gonna lie, I have never been so fucking scared in my entire life. Dude, that noise is acceptable out of a female or a child. To turn around and see a 37-year-old mustachioed male going, woo, woo, woo. Dude, the hair was standing up on my arms. I'm praying to a higher power. I don't even believe in this shit. I just wish I had the balls to turn around and be like, dude, would you shut the f***? You think I'm not up here thinking, woo, woo? I am. But how does that help us for me to join you and turn this fuselage into a haunted house? You know? You know what kills me? What absolutely kills me is some woman is going to fall in love with this guy, marry him, and make half fucking kids. And you know what? We become weaker as a species. We do.
Go to the park? You want to go to the Container Store? Get some containers for your t-shirts?
This is the worst one. Ever get this one?
Want to go to brunch? You want to go to brunch on Sunday?
And inside you're like, fucking no! You can't say that, right? You gotta keep them happy. So what do? You agree. Like, yeah, let's go to brunch. What a great idea. Oh, you just want to flip the whole fucking table over? It's horrendous. I'm trying to learn to pick my battles when I date girls. I usually argue with women all the time, man. I'm stupid like that. You know? Like, I dated this girl one time. She was, like, really into, like, women's issues. So we used to always have these dumbass arguments. Like, one time she came up to me and she goes, okay, explain this to me, Bill. Why does a guy make more an hour to do the exact same job, huh? I go, I'll tell you why. Because I got my shirt on fire going, let's go, people, let's go, let's go! So that's how I look at it. No, it's $1 an hour surcharge. That if something fucked up happens, either I can't leave or I gotta like get in the way of it to give you a head start, like rabid dog, run honey, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. You hear a bump in the night, I gotta go check it out, like yes, he does have a knife. Hardcore feminist, some chick right in your face, like you chauvinistic son of a bitch, little short, little haircut, the whole 9 yards, right? Second those flames break out, she's gonna twist those little hairs into pigtails. No, I'm just a girl. I wanna go play jump rope. And leave you standing in a burning house like you're not flammable. You know, but I'm not a dick though. I'm not saying I think a woman should make $1 less an hour to do the same job. The other night, somebody broke into our car sitting in the driveway. Starts fucking with her head, right? So she starts reading up on guns, you know? She's reading too much because now she wants to get one, but she's just like, well, I heard you got to keep the bullets in the safe, keep the stock in the garage. And then what? I run around the house and assemble it. There's some dudes chasing me with an axe. You know, even thinking this thing through, sweetheart. Just running around. Where's the scope? It's in the living room. He's in the living room. And this thing through, sweetheart. Just running around. Where's the scope? It's in the living room. He's in the living room. No, we're getting this thing. I want that fucking thing loaded right on the bedroom wall. Right there. I'll put that thing up my jam sleeves. Just like that. There's no other point. That's funny, though, when you talk about getting a gun, you know? People, like, they either totally for it or completely against it. You know, they either go nuts and start screaming, right? No, I'm telling you. I don't buy in any of that shit. Stats are so fucking stupid. You know? Not that they're stupid, it's the way people apply them. You already have your mind made up, and then you go to I'mRight.com, and you start memorizing a bunch of shit, and then just throw it up at people. This guy tried to get me to go scuba diving. I go, I'm not going. I don't want to get eaten by a shark. He's like, well, actually, 90% of shark attacks actually happen in shallow water. It's like, no shit. It's where the people are.
Years, right? However, the second I took off the costume and they cleaned off my face and I put on my regular clothes, I immediately just looked like some sad old queen that never found love, right? And as luck would have it, I was in New York City in June, which I quickly found out was Gay Pride Month. The whole month. And let me tell you something, the gay guys show up strong. It is wall to wall, which I quickly found out was Gay Pride Month. The whole month. And let me tell you something, the gay guys show up strong. It is wall to wall. The fucking island is almost tipping over. There's so many of them. And I'm sitting there like going, oh my God, 30 days of this shit. I'm walking around with this orange Freddie Mercury fucking dick broom on my face. I am going to be getting harassed up and down the street. I was an actor the way other lesbians do. It's not calculus. No, but I get it. I understand in 2021 you're not allowed to say you know what a lesbian looks like, right? Judging by your silence, yes, right? Yeah, you're not allowed, right? What's funny is some white kid came in here like 20 years old, hair slicked back, collar popped, loafers, no socks. You'd be looking at him thinking like, all right, frat boy, date rapist, his dad's a judge, he's not going to jail. Yards, she comes back into my lane again. So now, like, I'm up against the curb. So now I'm like thinking like, okay, how do I do the politically correct math here? Like, what am I supposed to be doing here? Am I supposed to like fucking, am I supposed to step off into the bike lane and have some young kid on his electric bicycle come by, 40 miles an hour, run me over? I go down to the pavement, knees and elbows. And for the rest of my life, every time it rains, I got to think about this lesbian that walked me off the fucking block? Is that what I'm supposed to do? In public, people are going to see this shit. What's going to happen, right? But I'm not going to lie to you. She started closing in. She was moving. So I, like, leaned in. Like, I really got my legs underneath me because she was built like a janitor, and I was not going to get spun around. I wasn't getting spun around, not having that on the fucking logbook, right? So I leaned into this shit, and at the last second, she turned her shoulder, and we just missed shoulders, but our forearms still slapped together with significant enough force that it warranted a turnaround. Around and go like old school Dustin Hoffman, De Niro, like, hey, I'm fucking walking here, huh? I fucking moved twice, you didn't see that? You drifted 2 times, huh? So I turn around to have this confrontation, and let me tell you something, she never looked back. And I'm not gonna lie to you, that bugged me. That bugged me for like 3 days. 3 days, I'm just in my chest, and then one more time, it's gonna be, I'm sorry, Dada, I'm sorry. It's like, I can't do this. I can't do this to my daughter, I can't do this to my kids. So I started reading up on anger. Like how to let go of shit, I think is what I Googled. And I found empathy. If you have empathy for somebody, you put yourself in their shoes, you can just, figure out where they're coming from, where you're coming from, you can meet in the middle. So I said, all right, here we go. Let me put myself in her shoes. What would cause somebody to, was she a mummy? Did she have a wooden leg? Was she one of those, those fucking diagonal walkers? You get behind them at the airport, they're walking too slow, you try to go around to the right, they start dragging their suitcase over there. You go over to the left, they're coming back this way, it's like they just got off a ship. And everything was just like, no, cut! Right? I was still mad. Still fucking mad. So I said, I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck. Women. Who do they move in with? Women. Who do they get in relationships with? Women. Who do they eventually marry? Women. And I was thinking like, oh my God, I did that. I know what the fuck that's like. I know what it's like to live with one of those fucking things. I know exactly what that is. It's hopeless. Trying to make them happy. Hey, am I getting the shiny thing? Did I do it right? Huh? Trying to get them to take responsibility for their action. Oh, he's a good dog. He had a moment. Jesus Christ. Well, Jesus Christ, you shouldn't have put your goddamn face down there. There's a fucking dog, man. Yeah. So that's all it was. It was weird. We were like the Brady Bunch meets Lord of the Flies. Like on paper, it was great. It was a station wagon full of fucking, Norman Rockwell. We went to church. We got Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah, that was about the fucking, So, I don't know. So anyway, we all ended up, my dad was one of these people like, everything. Gym teachers were scary. Collecting on your paper. Everybody was scary. Fucking everything. Dude, I remember one time my dad told a priest he didn't deserve to wear the collar. I don't know how it happened. They were disgustingly alter boy's schedule. And I don't know, he wanted to put me on a different mask, and my dad started getting his leg on. I'll tell you, I'm gonna fucking call it. And his jaw was on the ground. And then the best part, next week we go to mass. They haven't spoken to him a week, and my dad just comes walking like, hey, how you doing? What's going on? But I don't listen to her. You know? Why would I listen to her? All she does is criticize. You know? I got nothing but bad reviews on the fucking husband Yelp. It's just all, you know, didn't enjoy the experience. Thumbs down, half a star, never get a fucking attaboy, right? So it just becomes white noise after a while. Like, oh, what, am I doing something wrong again? Oh, yeah, you again. Okay, great. Great. What did I do? What did I do this time? Huh? What do I have to work on? Go ahead, fucking let me know. And I just had to sit there like, I just did that to a 2.5-year-old. And she was like walking away, and I'm just sitting there like thinking like, how bad was that? Is she just going to go play with the toy and forget about it? Or is she no longer going to be an astronaut? Like, what did I just do? I thought I was better than my dad. I'm making the same mistakes that he's...
She either has no stairs in her house, or someone doesn't know how to walk up them. That point. Did you call the plumber? Thank you. That's when she said it. She said it not like I was 10 feet away. She said it like I was downstairs in the rec room. Changing a fuse or something. That's not it.
Cancer. I would never go to the movies with you and in the middle of it hit pause and be like, oh, by the way, Conan, I know this guy.
What your take is on Joe Biden?
His hand's on woman's hip, right? And then you take the picture and you just start writing a bunch of creepy shit about what he's doing. It's not like he went for side boob. He wasn't like sliding up. No, it's a total overreaction.
Is that the face someone makes when they're going for side boob?
I would think so, you know.
Here he's go. Conan's going for it.
I would say 13. It's ridiculous. Like that Believe women. It's like all of them.
Going around saying that 87% of the world sucks, you're not going to get one.
No, but this is the thing.
You're not going to get you one.
I can say that because there's nothing you can take away from me. What are you going to do? You're going to say I can't do stand-up in strip malls anymore? That's usually the punishment. So the genius... I was making fun of the military, you know, which you can't do now. Like we... Thank you.
There was a lot coming from the Hillary Clinton camp that Trump is bad for children. And they had a lot of ads that said, you know, children are watching this guy.
Oh, we all know
talk.
that children 5 and 6 years old are always tuning into the debates. Taking notes. That's what I did when I was a kid. I'll never forget that. You never saw Weird Science, how creepy these nerds are? All these cameras on your phone, all of that. Do people go on Ancestry.com? Why would you send your saliva into Why would you send your saliva into the internet? Why would you do that? Why don't you just go to the Illuminati and help them build your robot replacement? It's the millennials. You're a bunch of rats. All you're doing is trying to get people in trouble. That's all you're doing, taking pictures and recording people. He said this, but did he really mean that?
Well, what did you say about the military that got people so mad? Or this one guy so mad?
I was just saying, like, yeah, they just always, they're like, what is that lizard that can look at two things at once? That's what they're like. So you got to figure out a way to, like, thin out the herd, and it's too late. No, these are the hard decisions that are going to have to be made.
We're here to hear about some hard choices.
Yeah. So you know how I would do it?
What?
I would randomly sink cruise ships. Now they're going after like 100-year-old guys. My question is, when are they going to go after the horse? Right? The show my wife watched where he just walks around in the background. And then it's just like, that's what I've learned.
Oh, God.
You know what makes women happy? Nothing. Nothing makes them happy, and that is why they are slowly taking over the NFL, because it annoys them that we can just sit there with like a pizza and a drink, like, that's not holding, and just be like, and enjoy ourselves. And then also, you can't tell other people's kids not to do stuff.
Right.
So you got to kind of like be loud. It needs to come back, and that's what's holding back this country.
Yeah. 20 years, you work your way up to the front, and now still They won't let you.
Yeah, now that fat guy's considered disabled because he can't stop eating cookies. So he gets on. Look at him groaning. 90% of the world is starving to death. That guy. Eat a salad and get on the treadmill like the rest of us. We're all working out. What is the problem? The only thing I didn't like was that shot where he was playing hoop.
Yeah, it went viral, I think.
We're all working out. What is the problem? The only thing I didn't like was that shot where he was playing hoop.
Yeah, it went viral, I think. He was playing basketball and he took a shot and went in.
He was playing with his black friend that he's paying to lose. Dude, I'll tell you right now, go do a show. Third show Saturday night in a comedy club. I'm telling you, you get an unhappily married woman and an every word. Didn't she, for the first 5 years, have like midgets who wanted to bang their mailman's boyfriend? And she didn't want to do it. She didn't want to do it, but she didn't have the power to say no, so she wrote it out. And then when she could make a good decision, she did a show, but she stood on the heads of those little people for 5 years until she got, and then she's sitting there across from this guy like so. You know, rich kids just sit around, you know, doing blow, sitting in Ferraris. They don't do anything. It's the poor kids that they make stuff happen. So yeah, you don't get trampled grabbing your wig. You know, suspenders flying off. It's so sad. To do what? Get an above-ground pool for $30 off? There is nothing in Walmart. I don't even know where there's nothing worth getting trampled. It just makes me depressed.
Yeah.
That you would do that. And people sit out for like weeks.
There's a week.
They don't even go to Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Like they're on their cell phone and their mom's crying. I just think you'd want to spend it with us. And you're sitting out there in that parking lot, feeling those people breathing down the back of your neck, just going like, knowing who you're gonna elbow. It's just the saddest.
There are women that waited 22 days at Best Buy. They waited 22 days.
And what did they get? What do you think they got? Even then, you got to know where to go in the store. Like, where is the thing that is on sale, right? Where are those mint Milano cookies or whatever they have that you're going to make a beeline for? On that linoleum floor, you're going to blow out at these? It's the saddest thing. It's one year what people should do. You know, like Richard Branson, one of these hot air balloon rich guys, should...
Good job, you have to get them fixed. I'm like, why do we have to get them fixed? Well, that's what you're supposed to do. I'm like, well, you're not a veterinarian. She's like, well, neither are you. Great, then it's a stalemate. Neither one of us knows what the fuck we're talking about, so let's not start cutting anything off the animal, right? So, of course, she's a female. She's got to go out and prove me wrong. Goes out and gets a book. Okay, look at this. See, it says right here, you get your dog fixed. He's less likely to be aggressive. Okay? No, listen. God, you're such an asshole. Just listen. And then it says...
Somebody's a lesbian. Easy. The same way you do. The same way other lesbians do. It's not calculus. No, but I get it. I understand in 2021 you're not allowed to say you know what a lesbian looks like, right? Judging by your silence, yes, right? Yeah, you're not allowed, right? What's funny is some white guy a lesbian? Am I I mean, I have gay friends, but I've never noticed any sort of a through line. Listen, people, I'm not saying all lesbians look alike. I would never say some ignorant shit like that. However, I am saying, though, every once in a while, there's a fucking layup. Right? Flat top, wallet chain, fucking walking up the street. A female before this is in public. People are going to see this shit. What's going to happen, right? But I'm not going to lie to you. She started closing in. She was moving. So I, like, leaned in. Like, I really got my legs underneath me because she was built like a janitor, and I was not going to get spun around. I wasn't getting spun around, not having that on the fucking logbook, right? So I leaned into this shit, and at the last second, she turned her shoulder, and we just missed shoulders, but our forearms still slapped together with significant enough force that it warranted a turnaround. It's just burning me up, and I know eventually it's going to settle in my chest, and then one more time it's going to be, I'm sorry, Dada, I'm sorry. It's like, I can't do this. I can't do this to my daughter. I can't do this to my kids. So I started reading up on anger. Like how to let go of shit, I think is what I Googled. And I found empathy. If you have empathy for somebody, you put yourself in their shoes, you can just, figure out where they're coming from, where you're coming from, you can meet in the middle. So I said, all right, here we go. Let me she have a club foot? No. Did she just have a stroke? Did she have Bell's palsy of her left side? Was she a mummy? Did she have a wooden leg? Is she one of those, those fucking diagonal walkers? You get behind them at the airport, they're walking too slow, you try to go around to the right, they start dragging their suitcase over there. You go over to the left, they're coming back this way, it's like they just got off a ship. And everything was just like, no, cut! Right? I'm still mad. I know why she did it. I know why she bumped into me. She bumped into me because she's a lesbian.
Excluding yourself, greatest 5 stand-ups of all time for you?
It's funny you said excluding yourself. Whenever I watch rappers, they always go like, "So me."
I thought I'd make it easier for you. Just get yourself out of that.
It's so fucking funny. It's like nauseating, the narcissism, and then there's something about the honesty of that I love. Well, I'm obviously Sam Kinison. I'm not going one more. I got
He's going to give us the top 50.
Yeah. I only don't throw Patrice in there just because I knew that idiot. And it would bug him. Yeah. It would bug him if he heard me and if I put him in or if I didn't. But, Mitch Hedberg, Doug Stanhope, Joe Rogan, and this is why I hate doing this, Mike. Being Tony Clifton imitating reenacting the Kennedy assassination is one of the greatest pieces of physical comedy you're ever going to fucking watch.
Quick impression, Johnson County.
It's unfucking believable. And I got a chance when I did SNL to talk to him about it. I go, "Did you work that out?" He goes, "Nah, he believable." And I got a chance when I did SNL to talk to him about it. I go, "Did you work that out?" He goes, "Nah, he just saw the car and he got in and did it." And it's just like, that's just thing. Just like, fuck, I gotta work hard. Yeah. So there you go. We did it. We talked fucking world politics. Right down. I know there's other people. George Gobel I liked. Gonna go back to the old school guys. George Gobel,
Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh my God, Rodney, come on.
Yeah, so good.
There's too many of them.
There you go. Bill's favorite 5 stand-ups.
Yeah.
Bill Cosby.
I'm glad you brought him up.
I mean, look.
Louis C.K.
Dave Attell.
Oh, Dave Attell
is brilliant.
He's fucking brilliant.
You almost have to be just like, you got to do like, all right, your favorite comedians in New
snippets. Thank God somebody was rolling a camera back then. There's a scene where you guys are all hanging on the sidewalk, and then Rich Voss walks up and goes, "What is this? A couple of middles? 0 laugh, a pause," and then everybody laughed at him. How bad that bombed. And I was like, oh, that's such a great little moment that I don't feel like we have anymore.
Were fucking brutal, Tito. It was so stupid. When I look back now, I mean, it's funny, but it was so stupid. We didn't write one script, one sketch. All we did was try to destroy each other's confidence. It was just such this way, and but what if Bobby's not there? Bobby's not there. I can't use that. Like, you look, and you couldn't look at the lineup. Like
right.
You can't, so you had no idea it was going to be down there.
And then the worst is when you say one and they're like, "You prepared that." I did. I thought I was going to be smarter. Shit.
We missed that. We really missed out on that. Like, I guess when I first got in, I remember Colin Quinn and Keith like beating up on me when I was like brand new, and I was like, "This is amazing. This is it," But my first.
And somehow it because
Yeah.
It's not, I mean, I'm not going to romanticize like it was all, because I was comics going to me like, why do you sit down there? Just go down and do your spot. And if I was a healthier person, I would have been like, this isn't working for me. I'm not enjoying this. Like, I'd like to come down here and feel good about myself, not feel worse. Oh my God, the amount of shirts I could never wear again.
Right.
It was just like, I remember one time, I think it was Keith. Keith was getting so trashed for what he had.
I find out one of them's anorexic. I was like, you know what? All right. That makes me feel better. You know, I'm glad she's not eating. Hope you pass out, whack your head off your golden sink. Just to add to my day. You know, I don't get how the other Olsen twin only weighs half a pound more, but she's fucking fine. No, they're so starving, they're weak. That's why whenever they take a picture of them, hey, man, I'm fucking 36, I'm not married, you know? I'm at that age where everybody I know is getting married. You know, let me ask you a question. Why the hell do people keep getting married? You know, isn't anybody looking at the stats? I mean, what's it like? 1 out of 2 marriages goes right down the shitter? People, if you were going skydiving and they told you half the parachutes weren't going to open, you'd be like, yo, fuck that, I'm not going. Yeah. I've been dragged into that nightmare for like an hour and a half, 90 minutes just sitting there. This smells like a pumpkin. Doesn't that smell like a pumpkin? This looks like a Christmas tree. Wouldn't that be great? Smell like Christmas in the apartment? Middle of the summer, just fuck with your whole reality? No, you know what it is? I didn't have like a really good model necessarily, like growing up. Like watching my parents, they always used to argue and shit, you know? Like, I was afraid of my dad when I was growing up, you know? Anybody have a dad like that? You're just afraid of him? You know? Not like those sitcom dads. They come, you want to go to the container store? Get some containers for your T-shirts? This is the worst one. You ever get this one? You want to go to brunch? You want to go to brunch on Sunday? And inside, you're like, fucking no! Can't say that, right? You gotta keep them happy. So what do? You agree. Like, yeah, let's go to brunch. What a great idea. You wanna flip the whole fucking table over? It's horrendous. I'm trying to learn to pick my battles when I date girls. I usually argue with women all the time, man. I'm stupid like that. You know? Like, I dated this girl one time. She was, like, really into, like, women's issues. So we used to always have these dumbass arguments. Like one time she came up to me, she goes, okay, explain this to me, Bill. Why does a guy make more an hour to do the exact same job, huh? I go, I'll tell you why. Because in the unlikely there with like the back of my shirt on fire going, let's go, people, let's go, let's go. So that's how I look at it. No, it's $1 an hour surcharge. That if something fucked up happens, either I can't leave or I gotta like get in the way of it to give you a head start, like rabbit dog, run honey, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. You hear a bump in the night, I gotta go check it out, like yes, he does have a knife. There are no feminists in a house fire, that's a guarantee. You could take the most hardcore feminist, some chick right in your face, like he's chauvinistic son of a bitch, little short, little haircut, the whole 9 yards, right? Second those flames break out, she's gonna twist those little hairs into pigtails. No, I'm just a girl. I wanna go play jump rope. And leave you standing in a burning house like you're not flammable. You know, but I'm not a dick though. It's kind of like living alone. You know, that same kind of fucked up freedom? You ever feel when you live alone, you like slowly go crazy? You know, because you got too much freedom, because everybody does crazy shit. But when you live alone and start doing something crazy, there's nobody there to be like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? What is wrong with you? What is that? Put it down. My girl's actually, she's really like, tell you what to eat and when to eat it. Don't eat meat this Friday. If you eat meat this Friday, you are going to hell. It's like, dude, I'm going to a cookout on Friday. If you eat that fucking cheeseburger, buddy, that is it for you. Who is this guy? Dude, I'll eat a cheeseburger whenever I want to, and I'll jerk off. It's my dick. Why am I listening to this guy? I'll fucking jerk off while I eat a cheeseburger. What do you think about that? fun. I'm out, okay? You guys party way too fucking hard for me, okay? I got off at about 22 exits ago. I didn't see that page in the book. I don't know what you guys are doing. I can't believe they're still in business. People are still showing up. Name one other business that could survive that shit. You think if they were fucking kids at Walmart, they could sell rakes the next day? And just try to wanted the guy to keep hanging on? It's ridiculous. They're like wheeling him from room to room, and people are still flipping. Oh, God, I think he's gonna die. I think he's gonna die. I'm so... It's like, well, I think he's gonna go to heaven. I mean, it's gotta be better than that shit. I bet the last 2 months of his life, he was just sitting in that chair going, God, I wish the world would stop praying for me. Just fucking let me go. Good Lord. Music's gonna be pumping. White people in the front row, gee, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Because when black people go to church, couldn't you just feel it? That was like a half-hour material. Went out the fucking window the second they picked another white dude. It was endless. Pope-mobile's gonna be pimped out, and you better not be shooting at this Pope. A black Pope will be shooting back at your ass. Start breaking it down. Yo, his first shirt be saying Monday, next shirt be saying Tuesday. Yo, on the weekend, he ain't been wearing no shirt. I'll tell you, it's actually funny. You know what? That's actually how I judge black guys now. When I first came to the city, like, all black people scared me. No, I was like the typical white dude from like the suburbs, you know what I mean? Had no frame of reference, you know? So my only frame of reference with black people was like those, remember those early 90s gangster rap videos? So the fucking LA. Dude, I ain't going up there till I know what Adam's playing, because fuck this shit. So at this point, I'm really having a battle with myself. Because I'm thinking I can't do this, right? I'm like, I can't do this, but my dick's going, no, come on, man, we can do this, all right? Just relax. Pull yourself together and get on the goddamn train, right? So as always, I listen to my dick. Oh yeah, I get on the train. By the time I get up there, it's like 5 or 4 in the morning, right? I'm staying on like, pretend like I know the groups, you know what I mean? It's just getting there that's a fucking pain in the ass. But you know, I don't get mad at it, because I figure, you know, black dudes gotta go through the same shit though, right? When you go out to the suburbs, go fuck a white girl, right? Just that same awful feeling of just leaving your people behind, you know, just less and less of you as you're fucking driving out there. Probably start off lean and you're all fucking cool. 20 minutes in, you're driving like 10 and 2, the radio's off, like, dude, I don't like this shit.